Welcome to Next Act Cruising. One of the biggest questions people have before going on a Viking cruise is, how do the excursions work? What's included? What costs extra? And how do you actually book them? In this video, we'll walk you through Viking's excursion process step by step, so you will know exactly what to expect.
I'm Bob.
And I'm Sarah.
And we are exploring the world one cruise at a time. We would love for you to subscribe to our channel and hit that notifications button so you will be up to date on all of our cruising information. So now, let's talk about excursions.
Viking is known for doing excursions a little bit differently than other cruise lines. Instead of charging for every tour, they have at least one complimentary tour in almost every port. On top of that, they also offer optional excursions that you can reserve at an extra cost if you want something more in-depth or more adventurous to do.
Let's start with the included excursions. They are already part of your cruise fee, so there's no additional charge. In our experience, this has typically been a guided cultural experience on bus or on foot, or a combination of the two.
For example, if you are docked at a port city, you might be offered a guided tour of some part of the city. Sometimes a ship is docked close enough that is all done on foot, and other times it may involve both taking a bus and going on foot.
The included excursions are typically city overviews, walking tours, or cultural highlights. They are led by local guides and are intended to give you a good, solid introduction to each destination. They are clearly meant to be basic, but good introductory experiences. If you are looking for something more extravagant, we'll talk about that in a little bit on our optional excursions.
The included excursions usually last 2.5 to 4 hours and are mostly classified as moderate activity level because there is usually some walking involved. However, you do sometimes have included excursions that are mostly on bus or on a boat, and those are typically classified as an easy activity level. On our first river cruise, Viking even tried to group the people who wanted slower, shorter tours into one group so it would be less strenuous for those passengers.
Now let's talk about optional excursions. In addition to the one, sometimes two, included excursions at each port, you're given a selection of optional excursions to take at your own cost.
These are experiences that go beyond the included tour and usually focus on something more specific. The variety is endless, but they often involve food or wine tours, extended day tours, something more physical or adventurous, or a privileged access visit to a cultural highlight.
As we said, the optional excursions cost extra depending on the destination and the experience. These tours are great if you want a deeper dive into a region or something a little more personalized.
Booking your excursions, whether included or optional, is easy. Based on your booking status, meaning what level of cabin you are booked into, you will get a day and time when you can start booking your excursions. You'll do this by logging into Viking's online portal planner called the My Viking Journey and reserve your excursion. What I mean by higher cabin level is that those in a higher cabin level will get an earlier day and time to start booking their excursions.
Our tip here is that you will be given prior to sailing the certain number of days where you can book your excursions. You will get a reminder email from Viking about the day and the time you can book your excursion, but this is usually several months prior to the cruise. We highly recommend that you put that date in your planner or in your calendar so you don't miss the opportunity to book the excursions on your designated time and date.
Here are some step-by-step instructions. First, you're going to log into My Viking Journey. You will then go to the Shore Excursions icon and click on that. Once you're in the Shore Excursions page, at the top of the screen there will be the different days and ports of your cruise. Then select the day or port that you want to make a reservation for.
Review the different excursions and select the one that you want to make a reservation for on any particular day. We will point out that all of the prices for the optional excursions will be shown on the screen. Once you are in the excursion page, you can then look at the different times when that excursion is offered. So click on the time that you want to reserve your optional or included excursion.
Our tip here is if you are traveling with a partner, make sure you click and reserve for each person. This is a mistake we made on a cruise. We only clicked in for one of us, and several weeks later when we discovered the mistake, it was too late. The included excursion was fully booked. We chose to pivot to an optional excursion, which we did enjoy very much.
Another tip is, even if you're not sure you want to do a particular included excursion, go ahead and click on it and reserve it. Because remember, it costs nothing. If you decide that you don't want to do the excursion at a later date, you always have the option of canceling it. Even though the included excursions are free, space may be limited.
When you make your reservation for an included excursion, there will be no charge. However, when you make a reservation for an optional excursion, there will be a charge. You should take note that your place on that optional excursion will not be confirmed until you pay for it. Therefore, you should expect to pay for those optional excursions when you make the reservation. Some of the popular or small group optional excursions do sell out rather quickly. So we recommend reserving and booking early and making your payment for the excursion if it is really something you want to do.
After you've made your excursion reservations, please go into My Journey on Viking and look at the calendar page to make sure that the reservations that you think that you've reserved are actually reserved and on the calendar. This is a good double check for you to make sure that you have completed all the computer clicks that you needed to make each of your excursion reservations.
Here are some more important tips to keep in mind. Read the descriptions of the activities. Carefully look at what activities are included in that excursion and check the activity level. Personally, we are looking for something that we're interested in and whether we can physically handle it. I am probably more concerned than Bob about physical activity level or the types of activity levels that might be involved, because I do experience fatigue if I'm walking or standing for too long and don't want to get involved in something I can't handle. I would say that I'm pretty cautious with picking excursions.
Here is one more thing. You can do more than one excursion per day. It is possible to do a morning excursion and then an afternoon or evening excursion all on the same day. You will just need to make sure you deconflict all of the times of your excursions. We noticed quite often on our river cruise that There would be passengers who would be doing the included excursion in the morning and then doing the optional afternoon or evening excursion as well. How much you want to do is up to you.
We'll point out that you can cancel or change excursions, but you will have to do that within Viking's guidelines.
Viking really does make the excursion process simple by including at least one tour in each port and offering optional tours if you want to do more. Whether you stick with the included excursion or you splurge on something special, you'll still have plenty of time to explore each destination.
If you found this helpful, please give our video a thumbs up and subscribe for more Viking cruise tips. If you've sailed with Viking before, let us know in the comments which excursion was your absolute favorite. Until next time, we'll say
Goodbye.